guys, so this is another one of my videos, and today we're going to be reading The Midnight Gang. So we will be starting from chapter 28, The Impossible Dream. Later that afternoon, the Midnight Gang began planning the night's adventure. George's dream was to fly. This would take some thinking, especially as it seemed the top brass at the hospital were on to them. With Sally downstairs receiving her special treatment and Nurse Me sitting in Matron's office, the children set to work. The children's ward of L'Enfant Hospital had a few tatty old board games. There were snakes and ladders, set that had no dice, a jigsaw of a cute white kitten playing with some balloons that had a number of pieces missing, and a game of Operation with no batteries so the patient's nose never lit up red. Tom, Amber, George and Robin all pretended to work on the jigsaw together as they talked in hushed tones about tonight's adventure. "Maybe we could make a glider out of sheets and curtain poles," suggested Robin. "The porter can help us put everything together." "But where would we fly it?" replied Amber. "There's nowhere high enough in the hospital." "There's a stairwell," said Robin. This hospital goes up 44 floors, so it must be a long drop." Excuse me," said George. "I want to fly, not die." "You would have a glider," replied Robin. "Well, I would have some sheets and poles tied together." "That's not the same thing," said George a little too loudly. All eyes turned to the office, but Nurse Mies was busy with her paperwork. "Well, maybe you shouldn't have such an impossible dream," remarked Amber. "But it's always been my dream. I ain't been heavy like this." George slapped his big stomach and wobbled like jelly for a few seconds. "I want to feel what it's like to be as light as air." Tom had been listening to everything and searching his mind for an answer. As he placed the jigsaw piece down on the tray table in front of him, he realised the answer was staring them all in the face. "Balloons," he said. "What?" asked George. "Let's not go down, let's go up," said Tom. "Please, would you be so kind as to explain the new boy," said Amber. "You know, at a birthday party when you sometimes have those special balloons that float," began Tom, his words tumbling out in excitement. The other children all nodded in agreement. "Well, if we could get our hands on enough of them, then George could start at the bottom of the stairwell and float up." George smiled. "Tom, I love it." Are there enough balloons in Britain?" asked Robin. "Very funny," said George. "I bet there are enough dotted around this hospital," replied Tom. "Patients often tied to their beds. There's one right there." With his eyes, Tom indicated over to Sally's bed. "One lonely balloon, get well soon," printed on it. It was floating in the air, shy of the ceiling. "What a brilliant idea of mine," said Amber. The girl obviously wanted to be back in charge again and didn't like the new boy stealing her thunder. "What?" protested Tom. "I was about to suggest balloons just before you did," she fibbed. "Of course you were," said Tom. "Come on, ladies, let's not fall out," joked Robin. "I bet there are hundreds of balloons in this hospital," said George in a rush of excitement. "There's loads for sale in the gift shop on the ground floor. I often sneak down there to buy chocolate bar or two. All we need to do is steal them." "Borrow them," said Tom. "Yes, the boy is right," added Robin. "Borrow them? It's a much nicer word than steal." "As soon as we have borrowed enough," said George, "I'll be able to fly right to the top of the stairwell and I'll finally take to the air." George's face was glowing with joy at the thought. The plan was so simple, it was brilliant. Let's tell Mate Porter. All the children had to do now was steal hundreds of balloons from all hospital without getting caught. Chapter 29. Balloons, balloons, and more balloons. Once darkness fell, the mischief began. Matron had arrived back at nightfall for her shift. The children had seemingly been on their best behaviour all day, working on a jigsaw, and no nursemaids had nothing to report. Matron had not been back in the children's ward for long when she had confiscated another one of George's secret tins of chocolate that his news agent Raj sent him. Then she retreated to her office to scoff her favourite purple wrapped ones. Once again, George had pushed one special snoozy pellets in each one, which within minutes Matron was snoring as loudly as an elephant. The part of the plan worked perfectly. Now Midnight Gang had to get their hands on every balloon in the hospital. They needed balloons, balloons and more balloons. The children divided themselves into 3 teams. Team 1 was Amber and Robin. They would be helping each other cover everywhere from the children's ward at the very top of Lord Fant Hospital down to floor 30. Team 2 was George. He would work alone and take floors 29 down to 16. Team 3 was Tom and the porter. They would have the most dangerous tasks, collecting all the balloons from the 15th floor down to the ground floor, including the gift shop, which had big bunches of helium-filled balloons on sale. As the nearby big men chimed 12 times for midnight, the boys crept out of their bed to lift Amber out of hers and lower her into the wheelchair. Tom and George tiptoed out of the ward through the double doors. Our first balloon was to swipe just to your left, hissed Amber to Robin. Although Robin couldn't see, he knew he meant the one tied to Sally's bed. Amber, please, whispered Robin. What? She protested. I know you have elected yourself leader of the gang, but we can't take Sally's balloon. Why not? Because we can't. Robin, we need as many as we can get. Now, wheel me over to the bed at once. No, at once. Out of the darkness came a voice. It's all right. You can take it. Sally? Asked Amber. Yes, I don't mind. What do you need it for? Another adventure? Robin wheeled Amber over to the little girl's bed. Sally looked weaker than ever. Even though it helped to make her better, Sally's treatment always made her feel worse for a while. Tonight she looked particularly pale. We were only going to borrow the balloon, replied Amber. Take it. I don't need it. All it does is move around all day. Well, thank you, Sally. That is the most kind of you, said Robin. Now, just guide my hand over to the string so I can untie it. As Amber looked on Sally held the boy's hand and led it to the string. She didn't let go. Take me with you, said Sally. Robin began untying the balloon. I'm so sorry, Sally, began Amber, but I'm afraid you can't come with us. Why not? Asked the girl. Look, if you must know, we have a secret gang, but it's completely full. We aren't looking for any new members right now. But you just let Tom join, protested Sally. The girl had a point. He had only been in the hospital for one night, and he got to come on an adventure with you. Well, you see, Amber was scrabbling for her words. That was different. Why? Demanded the girl. Because if you must know, Sally, you will slow us down, answered Amber. Hearing this, a single tear rolled down Sally's cheek. The sight of this made Amber want to cry too. It was sad enough looking at Sally with her bald head and the pale skin that made her look like a piece of porcelain. Sally looked as if she needed to be handled with care. Sorry, said Amber. I would reach out to hug you, but as you can see, I am impossible with my hands in plaster. Robin, those sarcastic comments concealed a more caring side. Stroked Sally's head. I understand, said Sally. I am used to being left out of everything. Ever since they said I had this illness, I was told I couldn't do this or that. But it's so boring to have to lie down in bed all day. I want to be a little girl again and have fun. She sighed. Please take my balloon and have the most brilliant adventure tonight. Whatever it is you are going to do. But promise me something. Anything, replied Amber. Take me on your next adventure, please. I'll be strong enough then. I just know I will. I promise. Amber smiled but said nothing. She didn't want to give the girls false hope. Then she ordered Robin to get moving. Chop, chop, Robin. Come on, we need to get going. I'm sorry, Sally, said Robin. Then, with the little girl's balloon in the hand, she pushed Amber's wheelchair through the heavy swing doors. Ow! Cried Amber, her bandaged legs knocking against the doors. Sorry, cried Robin. Sally chuckled to herself as she watched them go. Good luck, gang, she said. Okay, so that's it for tonight. Tomorrow night I'm going to be reading chapter 30, An Old Friend. So I hope you have a very good night's sleep and bye!